If you've ever rewritten the same email until sending it felt impossible, this will feel familiar. Welcome to Wisdom from the Porch. I'm GP. This is Wisdom from the Porch. Okay, hands up if you've ever spent an absurd amount of time crafting an email, only to rewrite it, delete it, start over, and then maybe, just maybe, send it after the deadline is passed. Yep, me too. And if you're neurodivergent, you know this struggle on a whole other level. It's not just about wanting to be good. It's about this intense, almost magnetic pull towards perfection that can completely derail your productivity. I remember this one time I had to send a simple follow-up email to an important client. Simple, right? It took me 2 hours. 2 hours! I rewrote the subject line 5 times, agonized over the opening sentence, debated the placement of every comment, and then, after all that, I still felt like it wasn't quite right. My brain was convinced that if it wasn't absolutely flawless, it would be misunderstood, or worse, reflect poorly on my entire existence. It's so exhausting, this internal editor I have that never sleeps. It's like my brain has this built-in spell checker, but instead of just catching typos, it's flagging every nuance, every potential misinterpretation, every possible way someone could judge me based on these few sentences. And the more I try to fix it, the more tangled I get. It's a classic neurodivergent trait, this intense focus, this need for precision, but it often backfires, turning a 5-minute task into a monumental energy drain. So why do we do this? Why does a simple email become an epic quest for linguistic perfection? For me, and I think for many other neurodivergent folks, it often stems from a deep-seated fear of misinterpretation. We spend a lifetime navigating a world that often doesn't quite understand how our brains work. We've been told we're too much, too little, too intense, too quiet, too direct, too indirect. This constant feedback loop of being misunderstood can create a hypervigilance around communication. We try to preempt every possible misreading, every potential judgment. We try to craft our words so perfectly that there's no room for error, no space for someone to project their own assumptions onto what we're saying. It's a defense mechanism, really. If I can control every single word, maybe I can control how I'm perceived. But here's the kicker. That level of control is an illusion. No matter how many times I rewrite that email, someone might still read it differently than I intended. And the energy I expend trying to achieve that impossible perfection, it's energy I could be using for actual creative work, for connecting with people, or honestly for just existing without feeling completely drained. It's also tied into executive dysfunction. Starting a task is hard enough, but finishing it when your brain's screaming that it's not perfect, that's a whole other battle. The mental block isn't just about writing, it's about the sheer weight of expectation we place on ourselves, often unconsciously, to get it absolutely right every single time. So how do we break free from this cycle? How do we send the email, submit the project, or just do the thing without getting stuck in the perfectionist loop? For me, it's been about consciously practicing the art of good enough. It's not about lowering my standards entirely, but about recognizing when the pursuit of perfection becomes detrimental to progress and my mental well-being. One strategy I've found helpful is setting a timer. If I'm writing an email, I give myself 15 minutes tops. When the timer goes off, I do a quick read-through for glaring errors, and then I hit send. It forces me to trust my initial instincts and to accept that done is better than perfect. It's a radical act of self-compassion, especially for a neurodivergent brain that thrives on meticulous detail. Another thing is reframing the purpose of communication. Instead of viewing an email as a reflection of my entire worth, I see it as a tool for information exchange. Its job is to convey a message, not to be a literary masterpiece. This shift in perspective helps to reduce the emotional stakes and allows me to approach tasks with less anxiety. It's about understanding that my value isn't tied to the flawless execution of every single task. And finally, it's about finding my people, connecting with other neurodivergent individuals who understand this specific struggle has been incredibly validating. Knowing I'm not alone in rewriting that email 17 times, or in feeling that intense pressure for perfection helps to normalize the experience and reduce the shame. We can share strategies, laugh about our quirks, and remind each other that our brains are powerful, even if they sometimes get stuck in a loop. Ultimately, this journey of rewriting the same email 17 times isn't just about emails. It's about learning to navigate a world that often demands a certain kind of linear, flawless output from brains that are anything but. It's about recognizing that our neurodivergent traits, while sometimes challenging, also bring incredible strengths, deep focus, creativity, unique perspectives. The real freedom comes not from achieving an impossible perfection, but from accepting our authentic selves, quirks and all. It's about understanding that good enough is often more than enough, and that the energy we save from chasing an unattainable idea can be redirected towards things that truly matter: connection, creativity, and living a life that feels authentic to us. So the next time you find yourself stuck in that perfectionist loop, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that your worth isn't measured by the absence of typos or the perfectly phrased sentence. It's measured by your courage to show up, to communicate, and to be authentically you. Even if that means sending an email that's only been rewritten, say, 5 times instead of 17. That's the conversation on the porch today. Perfection isn't about getting it right. It's about trying to feel safe. If this helped even a little, you can follow the show, so these conversations are here when you need them. And as always, thank you to Cloud Microphones for supporting these conversations. This has been Wisdom from the Porch. I'm GP. You're always welcome on the porch.